to Wins and Lessons Friday, everybody. What worked, what didn't, what flopped? More importantly, what did y'all learn? Now, I'm going to have to look over here because I didn't have my cursor on the takeaway here.
To the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information, conversations, and education weekly.
So Jeff wins this morning, even with some kind of spelling mistake. But he was typing fast. Morning. Jeff was typing fast.
Morning, Jeff wasn't typing. Jeff was asleep on his keyboard. That's why that's spellings.
Jeff says going for the win. Lisa says good morning.
So Jeff
sorry, gents. I apologize. That was a horrible intro.
No, that was good.
I think so for all y'all that
I'm surprised you were able to
finish the muffin before we went
before we came live. So listen, it was impressive.
Do you know how many times I've done stupid things like that where you're driving and you have like a handful of McDonald's fries and there's a corner coming up and you're like,
oh yeah.
Well, you're I need two hands in the corner, and you're looking at the fries, you look at the corner, you're like, oh, and you make the move to empty your hands, and then you're trying to steer with your knee because you can't get into the corner because you're too busy stuffing your face. That never happened to anybody. It's just me.
I actually drive, just for the record, I drive very, very sensibly and always within the speed limit.
If you were Pinocchio, you would have killed me right now because you're looking right at me. Your nose would have come right through, all the way across the border, and stuck me right in the forehead. Done. I do not believe that for a second. You look like the type of guy that's like, yeah.
Dude, I'm steering with my feet while I'm taking a snooze.
Before we get into this week, I got to give a shout out, Mark. That house is awesome.
The tree house?
Tree house is awesome.
Tree house.
Oh man, that. Thanks, man.
Mark's hideaway that he uses and uses the front.
That's
as
genius. Listen, that's genius. I give it to him. That's genius.
It took on a life of its own. Like it started out like the floor print, the floor plan, the blueprint started off to be very, very small. And I kept saying to my son, like Baxter, like, dude, if we just add another 2 feet on the side of this, we could get like a little tiny gangplank, like a gangway that you could kind of stand on. And he's like, yeah, that sounds cool. That sounds cool. I'm like, but then if we had another 6 feet to that, you've got yourself a nice deck on the side of it. It's like, oh, that's awesome. And then I said, well, why don't we, if we're going that far out, why don't we move the house further out into that as well? So you have a bigger house. And he's like, yeah, he just honestly, dude, it was like a 4x4 and now it's 16 by 8, I think it is up there, something like that.
Oh my goodness.
So it's insane. And I want to move. We're now doing like crow's nest is the next thing. That's what we want.
So you can have a look out to see if mom and dad are coming or what?
Then you're in the trees, right? So you can be up there. No one, you wouldn't. That's your.
You know what you really should do? Here's a really cool idea: is do like if you have two or three trees, do a suspension bridge to go from one tree, and then you have to actually go up the one tree suspension bridge over to come down. That would be pretty cool because you can do like a T-top trekking in your backyard.
There's actually a huge wooden pirate ship on the back of that, and I've got a rope gangway that's going from the back door. I've put 2 doors on this thing, so there's a back door to it as well, and then there's a cargo net that you can walk through that connects. About 12 feet of cargo net that has to go across to the pirate ship. So that's already there, awesome. Man. I'm already in.
Now, what is your plans for this once he doesn't want to use it anymore?
Dude, it's my freaking office. Like, it's heated. It's got power. Screens on the windows. It's like it's
awesome. Heated and it has power.
I got a little heater in there. Yeah, I got power in there. Dude, it's got a little radio, USB ports, whole 9 yards. Yeah, little couch. It's got a couch.
You are thinking ahead, eh, buddy?
We sleep in there.
Yeah,
we sleep in there through the winter. We've had camp nights out there in the summer. Like it's a cool place. It's a cool place.
That is very cool. Very
cool. That is cool.
That's my win for the week.
Yeah, that's a pretty darn big win, brother.
That is a win.
Pretty darn big. Who wants to start this week? I got a couple of rants that I'm dying.
I think you gotta. Like, I'm usually monopolizing the time here, Dan. So you're usually coming in a very poor third. So why don't you kick us off today?
Okay.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So for all of you that all y'all that watched yesterday's show.
Oh, you're starting
Amazing
there.
show. Oh, I'm starting there, brother, because
Okay.
I've got a bee in my bonnet. Amazing show, right?
Yes.
John Brewer, like
Shout out,
he
John.
shared some awesome gold for salespeople out there. So for all of you watching, I see some of you are on YouTube and all. This program streams live to YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, a couple of different Facebook groups, and obviously LinkedIn. And I wake up to an email this morning from YouTube saying that this video is spammy, it's deceptive, it's trying to sell somebody something. And it lists all these words, like everything that the show is not, it lists. And of course, the immediate reaction is, are you fucking kidding me? Come on. And then, as Jeff says, SMH, shake my head, or SMFH, shake my fucking head. And I'm like, come on. I go, like, I've seen the trash on YouTube. This is nothing. Like, this is solid. So I said, okay, you know what, Dan, just settle down. Let's fix it, because I've been there before with live streams where Facebook has said, hey, and you just a couple of clicks, you plead your case, and it's either a yay or nay. They put it back up or they don't. Well, my friends, for an hour and a half this morning, I'm trying to get a hold of an email or submit something to YouTube to get that video back on, because that is a really important video for sales reps out there, and our mission is to help sales reps, right? Like,
Absolutely.
It's fairly simple.
I think we got flagged by the disinformation board.
But and this is what I'm saying is, I get it. It's AI, right? Like if you were to, like we said this morning, there's what, like 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 million new videos uploaded on YouTube every hour or every like 30 minutes. Like the numbers are insane. And I get it.
The original video is still on Sales Chatter Live channel, though, guys. I know we are talking about it taking down. The original one is still on Sales Chatter Live.
Good.
The other ones, the replays all got taken off, though, for some reason.
So if any of you can go there and download it. Like save this video, because if we can't, or if some reason they, over the next couple of days they find and take it down from Sales Chatter Live, it's gone. And do yourself a favor, get that video, because it's freaking gold, man. Like it is gold. And so, long story short, I like, for an hour and a half, I'm going through all these things, and on YouTube's guides, it says do this, click on your profile link, go to help and settings, and need more help, and none of those things exist. So there's help, and then there's feedback and settings, and in the thing it says help and feedback and settings. So I click on those, and I'm like going through each one, and it's bringing me all these other pages, and nothing's working. So I kind of stopped. I namaste. And I went back and Serenity Now from Seinfeld, and I started really like taking a deep breath, because I do get frustrated with that. And I know it's probably something I shouldn't get frustrated with, because it's not an actual human going, I can't wait to screw Dan over this morning, or I can't wait to screw the show over this morning, or I can't wait to screw the new salespeople. But I care so much about this content and about what we say and how we say it on the show. Like DJ, that we have conversations all the time about every single person that comes on the show must mirror image the vision and the desire that we have to put forth into the market. And it's really frustrating, because it's such a good video and it's such great content for people, and they took it down. So and I'm saying all of this just because I kind of stopped and I said, okay, I want no more than 3 clicks for anything I ever do for customers. Like, no more. So I actually went back into my membership area, and I said, how do customers get a hold of me? How can they get a hold of me? And like, anything over 3 clicks, you're dead to me. And the reason being is, I've been involved in, and I mean, we talked about it off air. I won't necessarily name names, but I was in like this sales university, and I went through it, and I was like, yeah, okay, it's good. Not really relevant to our industry, but it's good. For 3 months, I tried to find a way to cancel my membership, and it was like all the time. It's, you're looking for an hour, something comes up, you forget about it. So I was kind of in this thing for 3 months longer than I wanted. I've been in other programs where it's almost feels impossible to cancel. Mark, you were talking about Comcast, and now it's impossible to cancel. So all of you out there, make it easy for anyone that needs to get a question answered or anything. Like, under 3 clicks. If y'all sell
or at least make it
something-
as easy as you make it to take people's money to give it back if you're supposed to give it back.
Yeah.
even better.
I mean, like, come on, they're quick to take it, but man, they fight to give it back.
Yeah. Well, you know, and remember that course I was in last summer? Like I paid $5,700 to be in this course. I executed 4.5 months of my time on this strategy. I got 0 results. And I mean, every waking moment of the day, like I dove in head first and I got 0 results. And at the end, it was literally the warranty was 3 months. Like it was or 4 months. It was a full warranty. If they don't do it, they give your money back. I said, listen, guys, here's all of my documents from the course. You guys can see that the progress I made behind the scenes because I know this membership program. Here's all of the workbooks I did. And I like friggin' sent them every single link to every single ad I did, every single sales page. I go like, I've done the work plus, not working. I want my money back. Do you know it took 4.5 months to get my money back?
Jesus.
But it took 30 seconds for them to charge me.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And they're like, well, it's got to go to the lawyers. I'm like, no, it doesn't. You've got to issue a refund. And that's it. To the point where I was on the phone with my credit card about to like literally say, okay, these guys just aren't. And I honestly thought I was being scammed. And then you sit back and you go, no wonder people are still have issues with like courses and memberships and training programs because there's so much shit out there. Like so much. It's insane. And I'm sure this course has helped a lot of people because there's a lot of testimonials saying, oh my God, it just didn't help what I was going after and what the company was going after. And maybe it's just not meant for our market. Maybe our market is, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Yeah. But when you dive into something like full on and invest so much time and energy and effort, and if it doesn't work for your customers, like do the right thing, I guess, in the end is what it is. So apologize. That's my Maggie says nothing beats canceling a gym membership. That is so true.
That's true. It's very tough to do that too.
Yeah, John Brewer is a great guy, a friend, and highly knowledgeable in the field. So yes, please do download yesterday's show. It's not gold, it's platinum. Thank you. Yes, it is. Yes, Maggie says perfect, Mark. Lisa says sounds like a caveman. Yeah, I mean, I think that's
man cave. Cool. Man cave. You flipped the words, but yes, man cave. I was thinking the same thing.
Man cave. Oh, caveman. Yeah, sorry, man cave, and that's exactly what it is. Yeah. All right, so
it does need a bar. That's what.
What's that?
The treehouse does need a bar, like a.
It doesn't have a bar.
No, not yet.
That's very surprising.
Not yet.
Not yet.
It's coming.
No, it doesn't.
Is that just because the cost of wood?
No, because I've got a little tiny cooler, so I could just carry stuff in there with me. So,
All right, gents. What about you guys? That was my kind of win and loss for the week. The realization of now more than ever, we got to make it real easy for our customers. You know, and here's the thing for all of you in logistics. I'm going to go so far as offer a guarantee. If you don't come through, don't charge your customer. And I know a lot of you are like, but Dan, are you crazy? I'm going to lose $1,000. Yeah. Well, lose $1,000 to make 80,000 this year, or make $1,000 and lose a customer. Because you offer guarantees for services rendered, barring acts of God, obviously, you'll be well ahead of anyone. And I mean, I'm not talking project work. I'm not talking, guaranteed trucks and guaranteed capacity. I'm talking, hey, listen, I give you a full-on money-back guarantee if you're not satisfied with what we're doing. Right? I'm putting your money where my mouth is.
I must receive, I don't know, like 4, 5, 6 times a week. I get the LinkedIn invites or the emails from companies saying, hey, like, you want an extra 50 client meetings a week? We can help with that. Yada, yada, yada. Like, buy these lists, sign up for these things. And each and every one of these companies, and there's one, I've forgotten the name. Oh, well, maybe I probably shouldn't mention the name of it anyway. But like, they said, yeah, we can interrogate to get data on CFOs. We can tell you what the CFOs are clicking on. If you want to find a CFO that's looking for foreign exchange, and they've typed that search into Google, we can give you all of that data. But
Wow.
it's like $2,000 a month. Sign up for 12 months. So it's 24 grand for the year. And I'm like, well, that's awesome. That's all. I said, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Why don't we just try it for a month? And then if it works, then we'll carry on. And they're like, no. Yeah, no, you have to sign up for the year. So I said, well, if you stand by your product, it's going to work. And so give it to me for a month. And if it works, then I'll buy it. And if it doesn't work, I'm not going to buy it. But it sounds to me like you don't really trust the algorithm.
You don't trust the results?
No, it does work. It does work. We got thousands and thousands of clients. I'm like, and I'm not saying it doesn't work for them. I'm just saying it might not work for me. But if you think it will, because you're telling me it will, because you've told me that you're going to get me an extra 50 meetings a week, give it to me for a month. It just goes silent. So yeah, I mean, like if you stand by what you what you can deliver, all bar what you just said there, acts of God and everything else that go with it, then offer it up. Offer it up.
Yes.
I deal with a company in India. They do a lot of kind of contract work for me, and I've been dealing with them for over 5 years now. And when we first started, even to today, every time we go into a new project, like we do, I'm getting them to do video editing. It's like, okay, I'm going to give you 50 videos. He says, I'll do it for 2 weeks for free, show you the quality of work, and then we'll go on contract. Done.
Boom.
When we first started, like this was a LinkedIn message that came to me 5 years ago. And it's the owner. And he says, listen, this is what I do. I'm really looking to get into the logistics industry. Can you help? And can we do some work for you? And at that point, I was looking for web development because I didn't have enough time to build web pages. And I said, okay, definitely let's get on a Zoom call. So on a 30-minute Zoom call, I kind of laid out what I was looking for. And I said, so what are you going to do to make sure that obviously I see some results? He says, we'll do 2 weeks free. In 2 weeks, they built 2 sites for me that were just spectacular for free. And I said, okay, but now you just kind of, all the work that I was going to pay you to do, you did for free. He goes, listen, next time, now you know my quality work. And ever since then, we've been working together on so many different projects. They're actually the developer of my next project.
That's crazy.
And it's all because of that. I'll give it to you. I'll show you what we can do. Imagine where you would be as a sales rep. Like I can't tell you how many customers I walked in and they said, I said, listen, I'll do the first load for free. Let me show you what I'm worth. And again, obviously there's a full qualifying process. There's you don't just I'll do it for free. And then they're like, okay, perfect. And move on. Like this goes through a process, but it's really, the teeter-totter that pushes it over for lack of a better term, in your favor. And I've done it many times. And those Flare Flexible Packaging was a huge customer of mine. And it's the first thing I did. I said, Greg, listen, we get along. We worked at another company. Let me show you what it is so you can show your superiors. And we got the business. One of my biggest customers, it was the same thing. They had a huge issue with some of the flatbeds. And I said, listen, let me do these 2 loads. I'll do them for free. Let me show you what I could do for you to save those issues and headaches. And that became a major customer in my portfolio. And
Awesome.
What's the hurt, right? Like, what's the hurt? So it's cost you $1,000 to pay a truck, $1,500 to pay a truck. But what's the ROI on that?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So even this person for you, Mark, $2,000 a month. So they're giving up $2,000 to make $24,000. So they're going to make 22 grand, keep a great customer. And you would have been in, right? If they would have said, yes, I'll give you a month. If they're, which you would think that, they're coming to you and they got thousands of clients. So somebody's happy. If it worked for you, they just made $22,000. So if somebody said, you write me a check for $2 grand, I'll give you a check for 22, right? Or 24. And you get your 2 back. Like, to me, I'm like, okay, yeah, done. Because they're going to give you a month free. Okay. So at the end of June, they're going to bill you for 12 months anyway. So they're still making their 24 grand. But like all day long, there's nobody on earth that would say, no, I'm not going to do that. That's crazy. Why would I give you 2 grand for you to give me 24,000? That doesn't make sense. But everyone would do it. And that's in essence what they're saying to you. Here's 2 grand. We'll give you 2 grand worth of our information, our data. You make sure it works. And then there's also, I guess, somebody's probably going to comment that there's the flip side of it. You'll take the $2,000, you'll book like 15 different meetings, and you will never get their service, right? So there's that part of it too. But I think, okay.
But but listen, you let somebody try the service. I mean, for your example, if Mark did try the service, I mean, and he does actually get the value out of it and like it, he's gonna do it.
He's gonna do it, exactly.
So if you actually believe it's gonna work, I mean,
but don't forget as well, if they offered that up to 10 individuals, and 9 of them did just that, DJ, they just took the information for the month and then never signed up again, and then one person signed up for the 24 grand. The real cost to them is probably peanuts anyway for the 9 individuals. It's not like they're giving up $2,000 worth of cost. You know, it's not. It's next to nothing. It's the time it might take them to set up the program, and then the data just flows because the data flows. Mm-hmm. So, and it might be a click, there might be a click cost, there might be a unit cost that they have, but like they might, I would guess for those 9 individuals, it might cost them $1,000 all in, you know, but that's the price of, you know, if you send it out to 199 take the data and run, then that's a different thing. But people are going to buy, you know, people will.
Well, and that's the qualifying process, right? Like I just signed up for a 2-day event, live stream 2-day event that I've been dying to get to. It just doesn't work with my schedule. So I signed up. I was signing up anyways, but what they said is it's streaming, right? So they're already holding the event. They already have the seats full. They already have the speakers. They already have the audio video equipment because they film it every year. So they're streaming. They're saying, watch now, pay later. If at the end of the 2 days you don't get anything, you don't pay. Wow. So my question is, how many more people signed up to do that? They're going to deliver on the content. They're going to deliver on the value. They're going to deliver on the strategy, on the tactics, on the execution. They're going to deliver on it because this company delivers every single time, which is why it was like, that wasn't the deciding factor for me. But how many people was that the deciding factor for? Huge. I guarantee you thousands.
Yeah, definitely push them to do it. Absolutely. 100%. Or at least try it.
Right.
Yeah. And they're doing it anyways. So it doesn't cost them a dime. Like, they've already built this algorithm. They've already built this mechanism that pulls that data mark. It costs them nothing except infrastructure costs.
Exactly that, right? Man. Exactly that.
Yes, sir. Well, so Jeff's comment was actually my big win for this week. So we can.
Well, Lisa says yes, guarantees. And then Jeff's big, is this the one you're talking about, DJ?
Yeah.
Big part of the show every week is Wednesday with the Triple D team on Data Day. There'll be lots of
yes. Yeah. That was such an amazing show. Having Jeff join it, I think, was such a good, just all around, you know, view. And doing the hour with Dean is just amazing. That was a huge win for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the value that you guys are going to get from those shows on Wednesday is unlike anything else. So yeah, that was a huge win for me. So thank you to Jeff and Dean for making that possible.
Yeah, I did owe that for sure. Mm-hmm. So what about Mr. Ridley?
Yeah, look, another good week this week. I've got a few notes in front of me actually, which is going to tie in with some of the things that you just said, Dan. So first and foremost, I caught up with Mr. Dickinson this week. That's always a blast. There's a guy who moves at like 4,000 miles an hour, and that's great. If you can grab onto his coattails, then you're just going to be a success.
Yes, sir.
Which is awesome. So we're kind of strategizing how we might be able to help out service providers, how they can lower their costs with their international payments, which hopefully they can then pass on to companies like Jeff's, who then can pass that on to underlying clients as well. So that's pretty good. I'd call that as a win. I helped a buddy out this week with a monster-sized transfer that was going to a rather iffy place. That was rather complex. Lawyers involved, immigration was involved, and that worked out really well. And I ended up I made no dollars on that, and that was absolutely fine for me. It was more about I like to pay it forward where I can. And if I can do things for individuals, because I've said this a ton, right? Where I'm at today is nothing because of what I've done. It's because of what other people have done. Like, I've worked in various banks. I put in what I think is a good job. Somebody from another bank taps me on the shoulder and says, "Hey, why didn't you come do that for us?" And I'm like, "Okay." And I'll go over there and do it there, you know, and that's it. And so, like, then you find yourself in a situation. So if I can, I try and pay it forward. So I helped a buddy out this week. Super happy with that. But the thing for me, actually, one of my key things, I actually got to bed before midnight one night this week. It was last night. Super pumped about that. Usually it's 2 a.m. So I'm really, really happy about that. But the key win for me this week, and it's going to come into some lessons and ties in with what you said there, Dan, is we finally migrated to Microsoft 365, the business solutions. And that's taken like months. And so the lesson, or it's more of a reminder, is about remaining calm, staying focused, perseverance. So akin to what you are talking about with regards to your YouTube problems, like you could give up and you could say, fuck it, like we just lost a show. But to your point, like the show's too valuable for that. And the time that John put in for that and that you two put in for that is far too valuable, right? So you're going to bat for that. So having that perseverance, keeping a clear mind, keeping a calm head, and moving through it, because that's just one of like 1,000 problems that many people probably face in a week, and they don't realize there's many problems because they just deal with it. Like they just automatically keep that calmness, keep that kind of like centered view. But then every now and again, these things stick out like a YouTube, and it's like, right, I need to remind myself that I have to stay calm, have to stay focused. So it's more of it is a lesson for many, but it's probably a reminder for some as well. And then the other thing, and it's amazing that you and I really never talked about these issues prior to me thinking about what I was going to talk about today. And the other kind of lesson really is then, or reminder is keep developing. In the last kind of few weeks, we've revisited like presentations that we write and that we give. And we go back to them and we'll tweak at them. And it might be just cutting out a word. It might be adding a picture. It might be some subtle differences, some major differences. Like just keep developing. We're redesigning our website. It's like 18 months old, but already we're thinking it's great, but it's not user friendly. And Dan, to your point about clicks, that's what we want, right? We want to reduce the number of clicks people make in order to have a really, really good experience. And not to like make this too salesy so that we don't get shut down by YouTube. But so it's somewhat ironic that everything that you were going through with Mr. Brewer, I actually do on this show, and we get away with it somehow, some way. So one of the things that we come up against most is, oh my God, but by moving to you and going away from my bank, it's going to be paperwork and it's problematic and opening accounts and like I've got to learn something. I'm like, well, number one, working backwards, learning something's going to help you stay, not so insane. So that's not a bad thing. But also, I have an 8-year-old who understands this and can do it. And so if he can, you can. So
that's kind of putting somebody on the.
I actually threw that at somebody. I said, look, you're a grown individual. My 8-year-old understands foreign exchange. So and that's true. It's like true. Gosh. He texts me like when he's in the show. He's like, "What's the currency code for Uganda?" I'm like, "Dude, come on, it's an easy one. Give me another."
Mark is definitely working with this ideal customer profile. He's definitely.
Let me get my son to call you back. He'll give you the answer on that.
Yeah, if you want my 8-year-old, if you want Baxter to call you back, he can tell you all about it.
Absolutely.
Or as you're on the phone, hey Baxter, you want to take this, man? I got something to do here.
If I'm out of office or if I'm at lunch, I've got somebody who can take the controls. I'm totally happy with that. But like it's like so the big thing that we focus on is by moving to us, you're actually, and what we're trying to get you to do is 20 seconds of your time and 50 clicks on your keyboard extra. So if that is not worth 100 grand's worth of saving to you, 20 seconds and 50 clicks, then I don't want to deal with you anymore because there's 600,000 other businesses that are hurting that I want to go and deal with. So like, just again, coming back to making it easy for people to move to you, making it easy for them to understand what you do it's not, well, it is, like I say, it is a lesson for some. It's not a lesson for me this week. It's a reminder that that's what we're, we as collectively, as us three, that's what and others, we're striving to do, right? Make the client's experience super easy, super nice, cost effective, give them technology, but also make sure that they're aware that we're human, and that when they fall down and they graze their knee, we're there to give them a hug. It's not all just about technology,
That's nice. I got 2 questions for you, Mark. So the first one relates to you helping a friend out, where you said you made no money, but it sounds to me like you learned quite a bit when it came to sizable sums, dealing with lawyers, dealing with all that. So that actually is worth more than any commission you'd get on it, because that education piece is going to allow you to move forward with more confidence, because you've done it, right? The confidence competence loop, right? As soon as you said that, I'm like, yeah, but the education you got on that was like incredible.
And it goes nowhere. It's here forever.
Yeah,
absolutely. You know what? You're absolutely spot on. And the fact that I didn't bring that up as a lesson, well, I'm an idiot for that, number one. But what you've just said is you're right. It's absolutely in it, because already I'm thinking, okay, well, there must be other people having that same issue. Yep. There are other law firms that are struggling in this same way. There are other immigrations globally in various nations that don't understand money movement. Yeah, let's go and help them out. So that's already on our whiteboard.
Get a testimonial from that guy that you just did it with, and now you've got a new niche to go after. Yeah. Second was, and I don't know why it's 50 clicks, but my big question is, just because I'm right in the middle of that now, like with this new thing we got going, it's a maximum of 3 clicks, and I'm already thinking, how do I get it down to 2 to get any piece of information you want in 2 clicks? Yeah. Are you able to get the 20 seconds and 30 clicks, 20 seconds and 40 clicks? Like, can you shave? And I know it might seem for somebody that might be, Dan, it's 10 clicks, but that is, I think, like you guys have heard the question I ask myself every morning when I walk into the office: how can I get a raise today?
Yeah.
How can I serve at a higher level? So that consistent question for all of you reps out there: how can I serve at a higher level? How can I make it easier for my customers? When we phrase questions in those manner, the answers come back. Now, Mark, I don't know if it's a bank thing or whatever, but if you can take those 50 clicks in 20 seconds and drop it to 15 seconds and 20 clicks,
you know what?
You're consistently improving.
Language and the use of words is incredibly important, right? So I shouldn't have said clicks. I should have said keystrokes. So not clicks, keystrokes. So the extra 20 seconds is, if you are an importer and you're paying for your goods and services in dollars, you're going to take the extra 6 seconds to type, can I also have a price in your currency? Takes you 6 seconds, 50 keystrokes. That's it. They're going to come back with the usual dollar figure and their currency figure as well. Mm-hmm. That currency figure is going to be 5% lower than the dollar figure.
Yes, because they have to equate for exchange, right?
Yep, exactly.
Yep,
exactly.
Maybe it's even as simple as: is it the same question that they're always the keystrokes? Is it the same? Maybe it's an auto response that comes up in there.
There you go. This is exactly it, right? I mean, you can train your keyboard to do Control Alt Y, and then boom, it'll just pump that sentence out. So you don't even have to do that. Exactly. And then when that comes back, it's an extra 5 seconds maybe to forward that email to me, so that I can then come back to you and say, look, they've quoted you $100,000 through foreign exchange. It's going to be $95,000. Now, you're a grown individual, but you're still going to take 5 minutes to think, do I pay 100 or do I pay 95? Which one do I
like
pay?
that. You're a grown individual.
Well, people are thinking, they're thinking scam. You're always thinking scam, right? Whereas my 8-year-old would be, it's 95 all day long. And I'm like, yeah, that's great that you know that, but you also have to think, don't go blindly running into shit like that, son, like in the future, because there will be scams out there. So, but you're right.
Dude, and what's coming out now is incredible. Incredible. I don't know if I told you guys last week, I got a text saying there's been some weird activity on your credit card. And it was like, it looked official. So I call the number. And they started the question just like my bank would start. And I'm like, and I'm answering vague, and I'm not giving up any personal information or anything. They're like, how many services do you have? I said, I have 4 services. They're like, okay, perfect. And I should have probably said like 2. Okay, perfect. Okay, it's wrong. But anyways, got to the point. They're like, okay, so what's your credit card number? I go, you tell me. And they go, no, you need to tell me. I go, no, tell me. You told me there was activity on my card that was, and the woman's like, no, you need to tell me. I go, no, you tell me. And why don't you tell me what other services I have with you? And all of a sudden it went click and the phone went dead. Right. But I'm like, I'm stopping. I'm going, wow, that was pretty good. Like if I wasn't so particular in that field, like in getting scammed, yeah, they might have got me. Like I'm thinking my mom, they probably would have got my mom. They probably would have got, and
listen, those things don't exist still because people aren't falling for them. I mean, we get car warranty calls all the time because clearly people are falling for that dumb shit. But again, they are good. They are very good at that.
They're getting a lot better. Right. It used to be, hey, you just want a boat, send us 13 grand. We're going to send you a boat. You give them 13 grand and a friggin' dinghy shows up in the mail. And you're like, this is not a boat, but legally it's a boat. Right. Like, and this is the big thing, right? In telemarketing, when I was like 14, 15, 16, I knew people in the telemarketing world, and they were like, there was a 16-year-old I knew. This dude drove like $100,000 Lexus. Like he was making bank. And I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, oh man, I'm telemarketing. And I go, oh, like, legit, not legit. He goes, nah. He goes, listen, man. He goes, we tell them they want a boat. They send us 15 grand. We send them a dinghy legally. And I'm looking at the guy going, really? Like, this is how you're making a living? And I'm like, yeah, that's all great. Well, 2 years later, he's in jail. Yeah, great living.
jail or politics. So I'll end up in one of
jail or politics. Yeah. So
DJ, had to go there. To be fair though, he's getting free board, free rent, and the whole 9 yards, and free cable TV.
We're paying for it.
Yeah, exactly. So who's the idiot now?
Yeah.
Good for it.
Sorry, DJ. Carry on.
DJ, we did a couple of full circles here. We did like 180 this way,
180 that way, 180 this way. I just picked a quote because I just picked a quote. So I don't know if this one lines up or not. But hey, thank you everybody for joining us as usual. For all the comments, Mark. It looks like Jeff had one last comment. Mark, tell your customer that your kid will be managing their account, that you're just a sales guy, and that your son is in the trenches doing the day-to-day. I love it. Yes, share that with the customer. That's gold. Let me know what the customer says, dude.
And then get a video of him doing a sales call. Put it on your website.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? So hold on. I just had a really good idea, and I don't know if Marcus is something you'd be interested in. What if you did a video of your kid making a foreign exchange to show how easy it is?
I could do that. I could get a friendly client and say, look, just in case this goes tits up, we're going to do it for $1, but he's going to trade on your account. I could probably do that, but you've just reminded me, and I don't want to suck up the time, but I remember I was in the kitchen one time. He came out of my office. He put my glasses on. He had my headset on, and and at the time I had a BlackBerry. He's like, "Oh, what's the exchange rate today?" Blah blah blah. And I'm like, "Hang on a second. Do I sound like that?
Who are you trying to be? That's not me. That's not me."
Exactly. I'm like, dude, I pay your college fees, so show some fucking respect.
Yeah,
I love it.
Well, I'm telling you, Mark, seriously think of that.
Also, thank you for joining us weekly. We love having you, everybody. Next week, share your wins and losses too. We do want to hear in the comments, so please, we should start asking that more as well. But please share your wins and losses, lessons in the comments as well.
Good correction.
Again, Monday through Friday. Correction. Yeah. Exactly. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. till 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Start your day right with us. Sales Chatter Live. Follow us on if it's still on YouTube, we'll see. Sales Chatter Live, Dan Deigan on YouTube as well as LinkedIn. We do stream this everywhere. So again, it is recorded. We do replay it. Please, thank you again for joining us. Jim Rohn. Our quote today comes from Jim Rohn. I love this man. Love what he is about. We generally change ourselves for one of two reasons: inspiration or desperation. Make it inspiration, guys.
I like that.
Welcome to the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information, conversation.